Here is the meeting point of the St. Peter Church, 圣彼得教堂. So, yeah, I need to find a group 去找一下我们的tour group. Peter's Church. This is the main gate. I think our group is here. 我们的导览应该在这边。Arnik here. Okay, we are in the group. Yeah. So many people.
This is my city. I love it. And what else? I am studying my master's in social anthropology.
I am Carlos. I am from Ecuador.
Consider our ancestors. Unfortunately, we don't know too much about them because they didn't write stuff down. But what we do know is that they were what Christians would consider pagans. They were worshipping several nature, agriculture related gods, doing all kinds of interesting rituals, stuff like that. Solstice Ligo, which happens on the 23rd of June. When what happens is that everyone goes to nature. Riga is empty that night. Girls go. What a coincidence. So yes, as we can tell, these pagan traditions are still alive and well here. Trendy thing. And so, there were some German crusaders who were like, you know what? Jerusalem is very far away and very hot and etc. There's no bloody crusades happened here for 70 years. In the meantime, Riga is founded in the year 1201 by a German bishop established, led by the German crusaders pretty much. And in Livonian times, geographical crossroads, very good place where to sell and buy stuff. So Riga has been a trading merchant city all its history. But on the other hand, it meant if there was a superpower nearby who were not lazy enough, they tried to get Riga to get this important trading hub of area. So a lot due to these two reasons, because of merchants and because of these wars. Because whenever the new power came, they just needed a new church for themselves. So we have like many churches which no one is using anymore. Everything till 20th century. So if you walk down the streets of Old Town, it seems a bit of a Germanic city. It literally was. But we could think, okay, but so these German upper class were like rulers, and Latvians were like, a lot of them were made these peasant serfs, which meant that they were tied to noblemen's land, they couldn't move around. The 3 centuries was led by the German crusaders, but then let's fast forward to the 16th century. So in the beginning of 16th century, very important event happens in Europe, which is called the Reformation. So how citizens of the city saw like a legitimate way how to get away from these German crusaders' power, which was Catholic. So Riga becomes one of the first Protestant cities in the world. And,
This is St. John Church. It's about Martin Luther's. It's a Protestant representative, St. John. So you have the Martin Luther. To close the Catholic close the church just like it for a very long time until sometime they opened it. 之后才被打开。
Power was Swedish kingdom. So for a bit less than 100 years, Riga was part of Swedish kingdom. There were some very rich people who lived here. No more than 3 windows on facade. Because, well, if you take a look on the street, all the other buildings from this time was no more than 3 windows on facade, because Riga was very small and very cramped at the time. There simply wasn't a lot of space. So, five windows. This one, you have to pay a huge like bags and high heels, stuff like that.
Builder, owner here.
Anyway, we can see some other interesting thing on this stuff like that.
So it's a 17th century building before Russia Empire come here. I think this is a North Great War. 北方大战在这边发生，所以 change.
In Russian Empire was the Bolshevik Revolution. So this empire, which was once so, huge and powerful, etc., it was just crashed in, I don't know, like a few days. And seized the moment, and in 1918 declared independent Republic of Latvia for the first time. And for the first time in history, like Latvians, again, to 2 superpowers who were doing their business, we were on the way. So let's think about Second World War. Well, if you think about what happened before it officially started, it was 1939 August, when Nazis and Soviets are actually friends, allies at the time, and they signed a mutual non-aggression pact known as Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. And in the secret protocols of the pact, they just divided the Eastern Europe between themselves. So, in 1940, there's a Soviet occupation of Latvia. And like immediately, so many people are arrested, so many people are killed. Like everyone who could be threat to the system, everything is changing. Occupation year was the first mass deportation to Siberia labor camps. So thousands of people in one night gone to these Soviet gulags in deep Russia. A lot of them didn't return. And violence treaty and attacked Soviet Union. So, and here they arrived and stayed for 3 years. So there's 3 years of Nazi occupation. In this 1 year of Soviet occupation, they already showed their colors and it was red, pun intended. But yeah, so basically they were like, okay, maybe Nazis will give us back independence, etc. Obviously it wasn't the case. They wanted to create here their colony called Ostland, which would consist of all 3 Baltic states, would be totally depending on them. We'll give you back independence, etc., etc. And some people believe them, and they volunteer for Nazi army. Most of the guys of the right age, of course, were just mobilized by force. They didn't really have a lot of options. The Latvian Jewish community is killed. Almost all synagogues are burned down, except this one. Actually, this is a pretty interesting synagogue because it's built in this Art Nouveau, or in German it's like Jugendstil style. Not so many. Really practical issue why it is. It's because here everything is so close together. So if that is set on fire, all these houses might catch fire. All old Riga could burn down, in fact. So for this technical issue, we still have one synagogue which still operates, and you can visit it at times. So who would listen everything you say if you don't say something wrong, right? So it's not a very healthy environment, let's put it that way. But we really haven't gotten over it, I would say, and we really don't want to go back. And I think you can tell that by all the Ukrainians, and because of our future. Because as we see it, we see that like Ukraine is fighting not only for them, but also for us. We have this fear that if Ukraine falls, we can be the next ones. But that if Europe is strong and united, then we are safe, at least here, because Putin is a bully. He wouldn't attack anyone who would feel like stronger than him. So if Europe is strong and united, we are safe. But if not, then I don't know. You will fight. I don't know what to say.
Many things happened here in the medieval Times Square. 很多事情发生在这种世纪的广场。
Organization which united young, unmarried, rich, foreign dudes. So, like, okay, well, a guy next door, as their saint patron. And Saint Maurice is one of the few Christian saints who is depicted with a dark skin color. And soon Saint Maurice just became the symbol for all these good things in life, etc.
Here is one of the character in the film for they win the Oscar for the Latvia their movie 他们电影. This is a little bit like a Netherlands.
Square. Right now, this is the main square of Old Town, and something happens here usually, such as Christmas market, which by the way is very, very lovely here. If you like Christmas markets, this is really a good one. Yeah. Bingo, exactly. What? So, ice hockey.
Ice hockey,
yes.
Wow, here. Wow.
Some people treat it very, very seriously. Maybe there can be what happened in 2020. So in that year, Latvia, country which is 1.8 million people,
Radio.
But we want rules.
电台.
There was this Baltic tribe which was fighting crusaders. The chief was
National
wounded in the
flag.
fight. He was put on a white sheet. He
Latvia
bled,
国旗.
and everything turned to church. This is St. Jacob's Church,
St. Jacob.
one of the few Catholic churches in Riga. And Baltic countries, around 2 million people participated, 2 million. And what they did, they made like a human chain, which were like people holding hands, crossing all 3 Baltic countries, connecting all 3 capitals. Imagine like one line with like people, one chain, people holding hands across all 3 countries to show the world that we really want to be independent.
Now they still have 37% of the Russian-speaking people. 有37%的人口讲俄罗斯语。 but the language Latvian language not much people speaking, because the population and the languages only they and Lithuania 还有那个立陶宛 they speak similar language, so they have to keep them become more practice, otherwise they lost their language. 他们很可能就失去了他们的语言了。So this is very difficult in Latvia 在那个拉脱维亚的一个语言问题。Very ghost here， 好像鬼一样。Oh, I don't know what is this. Very special. 非常的 ghost here. 2015, 2015年。Something medieval pagan castle they left. 是少数的那个异教徒的。The original there's a wall, but they only the things left that the gate 只有剩下这个门了。This is outside of the wall, 城墙的外面。
But yeah, there, this is the house of Black Cat. And there's a story about this house, which most likely is a legend.
Oh, legend.
And
Black Cat,
legend is a polite way how to say something is made up, okay? Was turned around with the tail and everything what is under the tail straight direction to the big guild windows.
Okay, the
And
two tails.
yeah, big guild was furious. There was even a court.
They have a lot of flag to support Ukraine here. Even the local people, you can see. Yeah, 他们很支持乌克兰，一般家庭也是。Thank you.
Yes, I'm doing.
Big river is called Daugava River. 道加伐河啊。It go to the Riga Gulf, 里加湾。The Riga Gulf is go for the Finland Bay, 芬兰湾。Here we have Baltic Sea, 波罗的海。So yeah, this is one of the river connect to the Baltic, 连接到波罗的海。This is a Riga Dome, 那个 dome。Huge market, 很大的市场。Hear the music, 听到音乐。Oh, okay, yeah, singing. Okay, wow, very special. 他们在那边